My camera nearly lives on my gimbal. Aside from a bit of tripod work for interviews, I maybe use my gimbal too much. My everyday option is the RS4 Pro, which I use with a sling to help offset some of the weight of it. And I love it, but it is heavy. So when it comes to having a bit of a walk around, a much smaller, lighter option has 100% been on my mind. But I didn't really want to justify buying a second gimbal unless it offered something pretty unique. Just being light and cheap wasn't good enough. I needed an X factor, and this gimbal has it. Introducing the Hohem, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, iSteady MT2. Yes, it's another product from a Chinese company, which, to be honest, I have to apologise because until now I hadn't even heard of them. Inside of the box you get everything. A nice travel case, mounts for phones, action and mirrorless cameras, plus 8 different connection cables. I'd be shocked if what you want to connect can't be used with everything that's in here. Plus each is angled, light and coiled, which I really like, and I wish the other brand would take note of that. Plus the mounts can be attached in both landscape and portrait orientation. All of which is pretty nice stuff. However, this is where the fun ended for me. So the downside with any small gimbal comes to balancing. My RS4 Pro costs 3 to 4 times the price, and I guess I have been spoiled by it. If you are new to balancing a gimbal, expect the first time setup and future setups, if you ever want to change lenses, to be a real pain in the butt. I would really encourage finding one lens that does not extend as you use it and making that your gimbal lens. However, as this is a review video, I want to push this gimbal to its limits. Mounting my FX3 plus cage plus 20mm f1.8 lens and heading out for a walk, clearly you can run a much lighter setup than this, but as this brings things really close to its payload limit of 1.2 kgs, I thought it would be a good test. Intentionally, for this footage, I am not doing what's known as the ninja walk. I'm just trying to enjoy my walk with my dog over the farm, using it how I would like to use it. All of this footage is with the camera's stabilizer turned on, because what camera does not have a stabilizer these days, and I've shot nearly everything in 4K 120 frames per second at what must be about 22mm. I mention this technical stuff for those that know what it means, but essentially I'm doing everything settings wise I can to make things look good once out on my walk, doing none of the hard work. And as you expect from any gimbal with small arms, there is a small amount of wobble to it. But for making little B-roll montages of adventures or without applying any stabilization in post, this creates fantastic results. I walked around for maybe an hour and felt very comfortable the whole time, and that's still with a heavier camera setup. Just dropping down to a 653g gimbal makes a massive difference. But all of that is just kind of what you'd expect from a gimbal. What makes the Hohem iSteady MT2 really stand out is its AI tracker. I'll be honest, I hardly looked over the manual for this at all, as I think finding out the hard way is a good indication of how easy something is to use, and this AI tracker is easy and awesome. First up, there are 3 gestures to use. This to start tracking, this to recompose your shot during tracking, which is great if you want to stand on the left or right or top or bottom of your shot, and then this to stop tracking. If you get too close and move too fast, or if you just get too far away from the camera, it will lose sight of you and stop tracking. However, as soon as it sees you again, it snaps back to tracking without you having to do the gesture again. Shooting with a 20mm on a full frame camera, I found composition nearly perfect, as this has been my main peeve with other tracking systems, as they seem to give way too much headroom. Plus I really like the movement of the AI tracker. It's not flawless as you'd get from a professional holding the gimbal, but it isn't jerky like a bad tracking can be. It has a bit of a natural movement to it, so it looks like you've got a friend holding the camera for you. Why I think this is awesome is it kind of gives off a feeling like the viewer is there with you holding the camera. As a way to add more connection to your videos, this is key these days, and as a way to add more movements to solo operations, this is next level. Now, I don't get paid for making these reviews, and quite often I'll sell the gear on after film to try and make up some of the costs it takes to create them. But not this time. The Hohem iSteady MT2 is amazing for solo filmmakers, and I'll absolutely be keeping it. If you struggle to get a friend or partner to help you out, this is some next level assistant for just a one-off payment of under $300. Well done.